Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever felt that familiar, nagging ache in your knee when you're just trying to climb some stairs, or maybe a sharp pinch in your shoulder when you reach for a high shelf, you are definitely not alone. Joint pain is a universal human experience, but the way we understand and treat it right now is undergoing a massive and frankly fascinating evolution. Today, we're going to walk through the complete journey of active recovery. We're going to start right at the moment of an acute injury, unpack why the advice you were given, say, 10 years ago might actually be delaying your healing, and then give you the exact tools you need to take control of your long-term joint health.
Okay, let's just quickly look at our roadmap for This Explainer. We're covering 4 main areas. 1. The burden of joint pain. 2. Old versus new recovery methods. 3. Rehab and physio. And 4. Preventing future pain.
All right, Section 1, the burden of joint pain. Let's start by establishing just how widespread and mechanically complex these common joint issues really are.
To put things into perspective, in the US alone, a staggering 32.5 million adults are living with osteoarthritis. Worldwide, that number explodes to nearly 600 million people. So we're not talking about some rare condition here. This is a massive, leading cause of permanent disability that we simply can't ignore. It literally limits how people work, play, and just live their day-to-day lives.
The really crucial point here is that osteoarthritis isn't just a simple phantom ache that's all in your head. It's an actual structural breakdown. You'll sometimes hear it called wear and repair arthritis. Basically, that beautifully smooth cartilage covering and protecting your joint surfaces, it starts breaking down way faster than your body can manage to repair it. And unfortunately, it usually targets the joints we rely on the most to bear our weight, think knees and hips, as well as our hands.
But it's not just the lower body that takes a hit. Let's look up for a second. Shoulder impingements are incredibly common. This is especially true for anyone doing repetitive overhead motions, athletes, painters, or honestly just reaching into your kitchen cupboards. What's happening is a rotator cuff tendon is actually getting compressed in the tiny, narrow space between your upper arm bone and your shoulder blade, and that creates a lot of painful swelling.
I absolutely love this analogy from physical therapist Heidi Janenga. She suggests visualizing the head of your arm bone as a golf ball and the shoulder blade as the golf tee. The rotator cuff is essentially the sleeve keeping that ball spinning smoothly right on the tee. When you picture it like that, it makes total sense why the shoulder is so prone to delicate tears and impingements, right? It's an incredible balancing act, but a highly precarious one.
Moving on to Section 2, old versus new recovery methods. Now that we understand the mechanical problem, let's look at the huge paradigm shift in how we actually treat these injuries when they happen.
If you've ever sprained an ankle, you almost certainly know the old RICE method, right? Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. It's been around since the 1970s. But modern sports medicine is asking a pretty huge question right now. Is this passive method actually delaying your healing?
This is wild to see side by side. The modern framework is called peace and love, and it completely turns the old advice on its head. Unlike RICE, which aggressively tries to stop inflammation with ice, peace and love actually embraces natural inflammation. Why? Because ice constricts your blood vessels. It literally blocks vital immune cells and repair signals from getting to the damaged tissue. And instead of complete rest, which just leads to stiff, atrophied muscles, this new protocol demands early, protected movement.
Physiotherapist Matthew Honig hits the nail on the head here. The love part of this new protocol stands for load, optimism, vascularization, and exercise. You're intentionally introducing mechanical stress to physically remodel the tissues. And you really shouldn't gloss over the optimism part. Research actually shows that negative expectations and being afraid to move can seriously prolong your recovery time. Your brain and your body have to be active participants in the healing process.
Section 3. Rehab through stretching and physio. Once we get past those first few rough days of an acute injury, we enter the active rehabilitation phase.
Okay, as we start rehabbing, we need to know what tools we have. You've got dynamic stretching and static stretching, and they do totally different things. Dynamic stretching is all about actively moving joints with sport-specific motions. It wakes up your muscles and improves power. Static stretching, on the other hand, is when you move a joint to its safe limit and just hold it there for 30 to 90 seconds. To get our lost mobility back, we really want to focus on those static stretches. So let's apply this to that delicate golf ball on a tee shoulder we talked about. If you're dealing with a frozen shoulder or you just can't move it like you used to, the doorway stretch is a real game changer. You literally just stand in an open doorway, grip the sides around shoulder height, and lean your weight forward onto your toes while keeping your back straight.
you'll feel a really nice, gentle stretch right in the front of your shoulder. Just hold it and let that tissue adapt. Now down in the lower body, tight hamstrings are a massive, often ignored culprit for joint pain. They actually pull on your pelvis, locking up its mobility and putting tons of pressure right on your lower back. A highly effective fix for this is the lying hamstring stretch. Lie flat, loop a strap across the ball of your foot and gently extend that leg up toward the ceiling. Lying on the floor keeps your spine perfectly neutral, so you're only stretching the hamstring safely and effectively.
But wait, what if the pain is literally just too severe to even try stretching? That's where something like corticosteroid injections can come in. But, and this is a huge but, they are an adjunct tool, not a magic cure. The entire goal of these injections is to just temporarily dial down the extreme pain and inflammation. They open a window of opportunity so you can actually tolerate doing your physiotherapy. The exercises are what do the healing. The injection just lets you get to the starting line.
If land-based exercise is still too tough, another brilliant workaround is hydrotherapy. Getting into the pool uses the water's natural buoyancy to instantly take gravitational stress off your joints. It's like taking off a heavy backpack. Plus, the water gives you this safe, uniform resistance to build muscle strength, and the warmth promotes circulation. It's pretty much the perfect environment for something like a really painful arthritic knee. And finally, Section 4, Preventing Future Joint Pain. Let's see how all this builds into making long-term lifestyle choices to stop joint pain before it even starts.
Movement truly is medicine. We tend to think that if our joints hurt, we shouldn't move them. But Stanford Lifestyle Medicine has this great analogy. Low-impact activities, like swimming or biking, actually stimulate your body to produce synovial fluid. And that fluid acts exactly like natural WD-40 for your body. It literally lubricates the joints and fights off stiffness.
But it's not just about how you move. Your kitchen is basically a rehab clinic, too. Your diet plays a huge role here. You want to aim for 9 or more servings of fruits and veggies a day to flood your system with antioxidants. Dark, colorful fruits like cherries and berries pack a serious anti-inflammatory punch. And the vitamin K you get from leafy greens like spinach? Research shows it dramatically drops inflammatory markers in your blood.
Also, you absolutely cannot underestimate sleep. This is so fascinating. Failing to get deep, restorative sleep doesn't just make you groggy. It alters how your brain perceives pain. It literally makes you more sensitive to the pain you're already feeling. On top of that, bad sleep ramps up a specific pro-inflammatory marker called NF-kappa B, which actively makes joint inflammation worse. So fixing your sleep can actually turn down the volume on your pain.
Finally, we've got to look at where we spend a third of our lives: work. To protect your joints at the office, adjust your chair so your feet are totally flat on the floor. Don't shove a bunch of boxes under your desk. You really need that legroom to sit properly. Pad any hard desk edges so you aren't stressing your wrists. And honestly, the biggest thing? Set a timer to stand up and move every 30 minutes to keep that natural WD-40 flowing.
So, this leaves us with a really big question to consider. Are you treating your joint pain like a passive victim, just waiting for rest and ice to magically fix things? Or are you ready to become an active participant in your own recovery by dropping the outdated rest protocols, embracing smart stretching, eating foods that fight inflammation, and getting proper sleep? You have the power to take control of your joint health right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this empowers you to keep moving forward completely pain-free.